Ladies and gentlemen, I got a special announcement. You are now tuned in to the Winning Shot Podcast. Welcome back. Clap it up for the ladies and gentlemen at the Winning Shot Podcast. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Listen, it's John. I'm back. Me and Hundo, man, back to it again. If it's just me and Hundo on the screen, you know what that means. We're talking W. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight into it. We will not dilly, we will not dally, and we will not delay this evening. We're going to get right into that good content that y'all want to talk about and y'all want to hear this evening. So, last time we were on the podcast, we talked about the beginning of the W season. We are now in the W season, and we already got some great storylines to talk about. So, Hundo, we're going to get straight into it, brother. We're going to first go ahead and get into the podcast topic that has been shaking the nation, and I say the nation because it really has been the nation for the past, at least since that game happened about a week ago now. So let's get right into the Angel Reese and the Caitlin Clark debacle. Now, for anyone who has not been following, I'm gonna give you some context. I'm gonna set it up. Then I'm gonna let my main man Hundo get into it because I realized that I'm a little ashy. So I'm gonna go get some lotion so my hands are not ashy while he discusses here in a minute. I'm gonna set it up before I go to do that real quick. So if you have not been following the W, first of all, shame on you. Shame on you. You need to be watching the W. It's a great time. There's a lot of good hoops happening this season, and I'm excited to watch it, and you should be too. But if you didn't know, since their college games at LSU and Iowa, respectively, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have been pitted against each other as rivals. Now, is that to their own fault? I wouldn't say so. I think that as a country, we kind of have because of, obviously the color of their skin. Let's keep it a stack. We have pitted these two women against each other. Now, they have never publicly said that they were enemies. They've never publicly said that they dislike one another. In fact, I'm pretty sure they both have said it's a competitive thing between the two of them. And that's what it is. And I'm pretty sure that's how they have addressed it. If I'm not mistaken, Hunter, whenever you begin to talk, you can correct me. But I'm pretty sure that's how this has been addressed to my knowledge. And so now these young women have been drafted to the WNBA. Caitlin was the first overall pick to the Indiana Fever. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Angel was the 7th pick to the Chicago Sky. These young women have went and had their rookie seasons, and now we're in the second season of their careers. And for their first game, the W said, you know what? How can we get the most viewership? Well, let's put on the two of our faces of this league, and Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. So that's exactly what they did. First day of the W, second day, excuse me, because that was Saturday, May 17th. The Chicago Sky traveled to Indiana and played the Indiana Fever. Now, I thought the game was going to be better than what it was, but it turned into a blowout quickly. But with the final score being 93-58, 93 favoring the Fever. But the clip that has gone viral and has sparked, once again, podcast topics around the nation has been a foul that occurred later in the game between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Angel is going up for a basket or dropping down the lane, and she's pushed, what seems to be, by Caitlin Clark. Now, that led to Angel being upset and running to get into Caitlin's face and try to confront her, as is her prerogative. I don't want to use confrontation, but it was that minimal confrontation has sparked what has led to now a media frenzy, and I mean a frenzy, and a plethora of conversations and family being talked about, people being mistreated. You would think it's getting real scary here for some people. So Hundo, before I step away, I want to hear your take on the situation and give me your thoughts, man. And then we'll get into the rest of this W season. That's what we're to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, the W as a whole. But we want to start here because I know this is what y'all want to hear. I know it because that's what everybody's talking about. So we're gonna give you our opinion, and we'll go from there. So, Mr. Clark, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and I'm gonna go grease my hands with a little bit of lotion, and I'll be right back to listen to the rest of your comments. Please take it away, Brother Clark.
So like you said, they've been pitted against one another since college. Like you said, not to their own doing. I view it as more of a marketing thing. And we've heard many people compare it to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson to that level. These two college superstars turned W stars are top of the class. Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year last year, was fourth in MVP voting. Angel Reese finished second in Rookie of the Year voting, right behind Caitlin Clark. Led the league in rebounds per game last year. Caitlin Clark led the league in assists per game. And last year, the same stuff was going on. Them two pitted against each other, fans supporting one and not supporting the other. And you could kind of see this building up to where these two are kind of painted in a light of like a hero and a villain. With CC being the hero, Angel being depicted as the villain. And then you fast forward to this year, the foul. It was a hard foul. If you look at the whole clip, Angel actually pushed Natasha Howard, got position and got the ball. Caitlin Clark didn't like it. Hard foul. She ended up falling. But I mean, it was a basketball play, man. You keep moving, shoot the free throws. Like they both said, it was a basketball play. You keep it moving. Now, since then, everybody else has blown it up and had their hot takes and opinions on the situation, who's right, who's wrong, how she should have reacted, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just like, bro, like it's a basketball play. Like let the hoopers hoop. It was a hard foul, shot the free throws, keep it pushing. If this is anybody else, it's not that big of a story. It's not headlining ESPN. It's not the first conversation on First Take. We're probably not even talking about it.
I'm telling you.
The fact that it's these two individuals who are young faces of the league, future stars of the league, we're going to talk about it. It's going to get talked about. So it's unfortunate. And as we see, like you talked about, the divide, not just in basketball, but in the country today. I mean, that's a huge part of it. And I also think a huge part of it too is Caitlin Clark, playing in Indiana, being from Iowa, playing in Indiana. I think that's a factor in it as well.
Big factor.
So we're gonna see, man. Hopefully they can keep it pushing, get back to the hoop, and just let these women hoop.
Yeah, and I hate stuff like this, Hundo, because like you said, if it wasn't these two women and the history that they already have, and once again I say history, but it's history that they didn't create. It's just they have just happened to play each other in meaningful games. That's what it's been. Honestly, if either one of them had gone to a lesser school or not been as talented, or let's just keep it a stat, not have been black and white, this wouldn't be a conversation. Like you mentioned a minute ago. But because this country lives and feeds, and I'm going to keep it as band. I said it in the chat earlier, and I'm going to stand behind it right here on the podcast. Racism is feeding journalism. It's feeding media families right now. People are getting paid to speak on racism. That's what it is. And people say, well, how can you say that? How can you say that? How many other fouls do we see every other night? Every night we see a foul. And it's never talked about like this. Now we've had some conversations before about, oh, is this player dirty? Is it da-da-da-da? But we know when it comes to Angel and Caitlin, it's always different. And it's because who they are, their brands that they've built, their fandom that's behind them, and like you just mentioned ago, where they play. I mean, I look at it, Hundo, and I'm like, dang, you're right. Angel plays in Chicago. Chicago is known as a black city. Angel is, Caitlin is playing in Indiana. If you ever been to Indiana, you know what kind of time they're on out there. So it's like, it's clear what's happening here in regards to the media. But once again, Angel, I feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel like Angel and Caitlin are not really playing into it, as they shouldn't. They already said it's a basketball play. Let's keep pushing. Pushing. So because they said keep pushing, I'm not gonna say nothing else about it other than media. Stop gassing it up. Let these women hoop, bro. Like let's keep pushing. We're not gonna talk about it no more. We're gonna give it 10 minutes right at the top of the pod. That's all we're gonna talk about. We ain't gonna talk about it no more. What we are gonna talk about though is how their teams are doing respectively in regards to overall season. And we're going to talk about the rest of these teams because there are a lot of women in the W right now who deserve some shine. So, Hundo, without further ado, thank y'all for tapping in for this particular part of the podcast. That's our beginning 10-minute rant. There we go. Y'all got it. First 10 minutes, we're going to clip it. We're going to put it on a special part of YouTube just so you can see it. Put it on TikTok. Y'all go ahead and like, comment, subscribe right there, and give me your opinion right there on how you feel. And then tap into the rest of the pod because we still got more to talk about in the W. So let's get straight into it, Hundo. So as mentioned and as promised, there were other games that happened over the weekend. The W started in full force, and it started off with the Mystics playing the Atlanta Dream. Now, if you remember from our last episode, Hundo, me and you had the Mystics at the bottom of the league. We just had no faith in the Mystic due to being a young team, due to them losing a draft pick, a first-round draft pick that they, lost to Miss Georgia Amore, lost her to an ACL injury. So that left, and then AE got hurt. So we were like, they got Kiki, Citron, and who else? That's what I was saying. Personally. I know you had some of the comments, but I was like, I don't know how they're going to do anything. So with them playing at Atlanta, who had, star power, they got BG, I'm sorry, my phone tripping. We got BG, we got a whole bevy of women we got, Ryan Howard. They even started Tahina Pow at guard. And so, they have a plethora of women, and I just thought they were a better team coming out. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way they go ahead and lose to, the Mystics. There's just no way. But boy, was I wrong. They went to Washington and lost to the Mystics. Hundo, what's your comments, man, on that game right there? Just that being that first game of the season and kind of getting to it and kind of just thinking that they were going to get rolled over like I thought. So go ahead. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like you said, man, I think we both had the Dream beating the Mystics. But as I was watching this game, and of course for the Dream, let's focus on the Dream first. Jordan Canada's out with an injury, starting point guard. Hence why Pow was starting. But what I noticed from the Dream in that first game is they rely heavily on their starters. Ryan didn't have the best game. She actually had a pretty bad game. I think she only had like 11 points, which is low for Ryan, who was a 20-point per game type scorer.
Right.
To only score 11 points. But Alicia Gray had a big game. BG was solid. Bree Jones was solid. Pow didn't really do much of anything. And like I said, they rely heavily on their starters. They didn't really get much off the bench. And I think with Jordan Canada being out, that's going to hurt them early on in the season. I think once they get her back, starting point guard, Pow will slide back to the bench. We know Pow can shoot it. We know she can score. Having that punch off the bench is just definitely going to help Atlanta. And they took a lot of threes, which is something that the head coach brought with him from Florida Gulf Coast in his first year as the head coach of the Atlanta Dream. But they have to play through their bigs, especially right now. You got 6'9" BG down there. You got Bree Jones down there. Play through them. Alicia Gray's gotten off to a good start, a hot start this season. Put the ball in their hands a little bit more. Try to create opportunities, try to get to the free throw line. And then for the Mystics, like we said, Sonya Citron, hooping. Brittany Sykes, hooping. Kiki, hooping. Them two rookies alone they look like a crazy duo right now.
I'm telling you.
I'm interested to see how it's going to be once AE comes back, especially the way Kiki's hooping right now.
That's true.
But the Mystics off to a good start right now.
They are 2-0 at this current moment, man. And we're gonna get into I guess we can get to the next matchup a little bit later on. But they are 2-0 at this current time, and they have the opportunity to go 3-0 tonight, facing the Golden State Valkyrie, who will get into their matchup next. Actually, that's a good segue into their matchup. Brand new franchise starting this season. They cut all the people that they drafted. So they were another team that me and you had discussed being at the bottom of the league, just because brand new franchise, brand new players, brand new coaches, everything. So they start from scratch, literally. They played their game at home, first game against the LA Sparks, so they kept everything on the West Coast. And coming to the matchup, I was like, It should be a blowout game for the Sparks. But surprisingly, the Valkyrie came out kind of fighting early. They had a good little, good little 1-2 going early on. But as we saw, KP, Miss Kelsey Plum, turned it up 37 points. I think she wound up having at the rest of that game, and they wound up blowing them out 84 to 67 to one hand. The Valkyrie their first official loss as a new franchise in LA or in Golden State, so in Cali, I should say Cali in general. So any spark notes that you want to give from that particular matchup and any highlights you want to go over?
Yeah, KP, like you said,
Yeah.
set a W record for points in the season opener with 37.
Yeah.
She's out there hooping. I'm interested to see how that's going to be throughout the season for them.
Mm-hmm.
Will she be tasked to score a lot of points?
Yeah.
Or will it be more of a balanced attack? They have De'Erica Hamby down low, Rakia Jackson. Interested to see also how the team looks once Cam Brink comes back as well.
That's true.
From her injury. So they have a pretty talented roster, pretty solid roster. I don't expect them to make the playoffs or anything, but they should definitely compete every night, play hard, and I expect them to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, like the Valkyries.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, the only reason I'm not going to say that I expect them to be who they're going to beat is because I've been expecting that from some other teams, and they haven't shown up yet. So I can't give LA that benefit of the doubt because I don't think they're as good as some of the other teams I've been saying they should be beating other teams, and we'll get into that in the next matchup. The first overall pick, Miss Paige Beckers, led, and I can't say led because Enrique is still there, so I can't even say lead. She was the face because she was the first overall pick, so everybody, all eyes on her as she started off her W career campaign against the Minnesota Lynx. Now, you've already discussed, we didn't have any faith in the Lynx losing to the Wings, but just because MVP. And if you don't know, tap back into our Unrivaled podcast as we talked about MVP. But she was coming to town, and I said, yeah, it's gonna get bad. And we were pretty much corrected in that standpoint. They wound up beating the Wings 99 to 84 in that first game of the season for the Enrique led. How about that? Because she's been there longer. The Enrique led Dallas Wings. Now, Enrique didn't wind up leading the team in scoring, 16 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, followed by Dejanay Carrington with 15, 3 and 1. Now, Paige wound up having 10, 7 and 2, 10 points, 7 boards, 2 assists in her first game. Talk to me, Hunter, how you felt about Paige's start. That she was the top overall pick. How do you feel she came out? Was it a tough ask for her to come out and play, the Lynx, who were just in the finals last year, as your first game of your career? And how do you think she fared against that kind of competition level and coming into the W when it really mattered?
Yeah, and that final score doesn't really depict how the game was going.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually pretty close, especially in the first half. I think the Wings had a lead at one point in the first half, but they were right there in the game until third quarter. Like you said, the vets showed up and showed out. Courtney Williams has been on a tear. I think I saw a stat that says she has 19 assists and no turnovers so far this season. So she's been playing at a very high level at the point guard position. We just talked about KP scoring 37, but before that game was this game, and Fee had set the record with 34 points in the season opener. So like you said, MVP coming out, playing at a very high level. And then when you look at the Wings, I think Paige did have a tough task. Like I said, you got the vets on the other end with Courtney Williams specifically at the point guard position, guarding her. We know what she's going to do on a night in and night out basis on both ends of the court. And I think also with the Wings, it's just like they have to figure out that backcourt has to figure out how to play with one another. Yeah. Like you said, Enrique has 16, didn't hit any threes on 12 shots, 4 for 12, not the most efficient. And they were, in a sense, struggling to score. They have to find some type of offense. McCowan only played 5 minutes in that game. She ended up leaving the game for 4 fouls. Played 5 minutes, picked up 4 fouls. Like, come on, dog. Like, they need you on the court. You 6'7".
6'7".
But I'm surprised that she wasn't starting for one.
Yeah.
Um, they opted to go with Nelissa Smith, who didn't do much of anything. Aisha Hines Allen, a good enforcer, a big body, but I mean, against Fee, nah. Um,
Not enough.
so yeah, I think the Wings are in an interesting spot. Like I said, they got to figure out that backcourt situation. And we saw in the next game, Enrique just wasn't getting it done.
Yeah.
Ended up getting benched actually in pretty much in the second half. She came back late in the fourth quarter. But she was throwing up bricks, and Paige actually had her best game of her rookie career so far in
Yeah.
that game. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic moving forward that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on.
That's facts, brother. Yeah, definitely agree with you, Brand. Like I said, I was definitely intrigued to watch that game because I wanted to see how Paige, came out in that first game. And I mean, I thought she was, solid. If she did what she could as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? As the one of our pick, you're gonna have all eyes on you all season, every game. So I think coming out and like you said, it was a pitch that went kind of viral on Twitter. Where her trying to guard MVP, man. And it looked like, she's a little kid, like trying to guard a grown woman. And it's like, dang, welcome to the league. That's your welcome to the league moment, Rook. But I mean, hey, that's what it's gonna be. So I'm saying, like, it's only gonna make you better. It's only gonna make you stronger. So, man, shout out Paige. I think she has a bright future ahead of her. I think that she's able to kind of come in, and this is her rookie season. So I mean, just like another rookie, just like Caitlin last year, you come in, you learn, you play the game, make your adjustments, and then we'll try it again. We'll see what happens. And I say try it again because I don't know if, the way Dallas looking right now. I don't know how they're gonna be, pushing coming towards playoffs, but. We talked about them being on the bubble, but they playing like they don't even want to be on the bubble no more. So I don't know. We'll obviously follow them throughout this W season and see how that turns out. But as of right now, hey, God bless them. Let's push on. Saturday. Now this one had me hot. We had a huge matchup. We had the Las Vegas Aces. Shout out to the reigning MVP, Miss Asia Wilson. They played the New York Liberty, who is the defending champions of the league, in New York. And so, as you can imagine, all eyes are on Angel Reese, who just dropped a phenomenal shoe, the A1, in a couple different colorways. She came out, did her thing. I mean, once again, did her thing. 31 points, 16 boards, 3 assists. Very MVP like. I mean, per Angel, I mean, not per Angel, per Asia, I mean, it's what she does. Um, the same. This is the thing, though, Hundo. The same issue has still persisted in Vegas. Jewel Lloyd joined the team via a trade from Seattle. Now, me personally, expected some big things from Jewel Lloyd. She was one of the leading scorers in the league last year in Seattle. Um, she came in and dropped 5 points in 31 minutes of ball time. I'm gonna say it again. She dropped 5 points in 31 minutes of ball time. Was 10 for 20 from the field, 1 for 6 from three. It was not a good start to her Vegas career against the Liberty. Asia really needed some help, man. I mean, Jackie Young had 16, the point guard had 12, and Dana Evans had her usual 10. Um, it wasn't enough. They wound up losing that game 78 to 92. Excuse me, I'm going to take them into 80 points. Led by Stewie, 25 and 8. Natasha Cloud, a new addition in New York, 22 and 6. JJ, 17 and 10, big double double. And then, it had sprinkling everybody else a couple more points here and there. Talk to me, Hundo, about how you felt with the Aces and Liberty matchup, as obviously they have a history of being two of the best teams in the league. How you felt about this score being where it was. Contrary to other matchups, it's only close in the first quarter. I mean, to me, I'm looking at the box score, looking at the summary. It's close after one, but after two, I mean, the Liberty kind of got busy. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't too close. The Vegas only outscored him in the third. Well, they outscored him in the first and the third quarter, but just wasn't enough in the end to carry them to victory. So, give me your thoughts on that particular matchup and how you felt, and we'll go from there, man.
Yeah, shout out to Natasha Cloud, like you said, new addition in New York. As I said before, definitely an upgrade from Sloot at the point guard position. Natasha Cloud's a dog.
Yeah.
She gets it done. She can do a little bit of everything. If you need her to score, she can score. She can facilitate at a very high level. I think she was like second or third in the league in assists last year.
Yeah.
with the Mercury, and like I said, she gets it done on both ends. Um, you talked about Jewel Lloyd on the other end with Vegas. That's gonna take some time to figure out.
Yeah.
Um, they just got to figure out how to play with one another, how they're going to run their plays. They're definitely going to be playing through Asia, as we saw in the first two games. Asia's getting busy, picking up where she left off. But like you said, she's going to need some help, whether that's the point guard taking over games, whether that's Jackie knocking down big shots, but also getting it done on the defensive end. They have to be able to get stops, timely stops, and hopefully that defense can translate to offense. So hopefully they can figure it out throughout the regular season, and try to make another run for a championship in the postseason.
How long do you think it's going to take them to kind of get it together? Because as an Aces fan, I'm an Aces fan. I like to see things happen quickly. Now you can say I come from the popcorn generation, microwave generation, but I ain't gonna lie to you, Hundo. I can't go through another last season again this year. Now, last season I talked a lot about Asia needing some help. I mean, I just felt like night after night she was coming in, doing her thing, double double, almost triple double, and it's like the rest of the team is just like there. It's like they're not hooping up to what I know that they can hoop to. I mean, they won championships for dog's sake, back to back at that. So it's like, for me, looking now as a fan, I'm like, how long is this new addition of Jewel going to take? The point guard and them have been there. So it's like, y'all don't really have an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, you adding in Jewel. So, I mean, I get it. You're trying to get that piece figured out. But like, what what do you think can be done if you were like GM or coach? What would you do to kind of like get that moving faster? Because as you know, we only got so many games. You know what I'm saying? And like every game matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, later on. I know it's early on the season. I know. Don't get me wrong. I understand what they got, like, 44, 46 games in the season. So, but every game matters at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and it's not that it matters. I think what is more for me is the lack of assistance and the lack of scoring, right? If the scores were like, if it was 91-92, cool. It's like y'all put up 70 points. So, like, what do you think can be done, if anything, at this point to like help them to get over that hump and just start winning basketball at a high rate, as I know they can?
Yeah, I think it's gonna take time. As we talked about, the matchup to start early in the season against the Liberty, the defending champs. That's their ring ceremony for one. The crowd's gonna be lit. Um, and Sabrina didn't even have her best game,
Yep.
and they still won. You're pretty much going against a team that only replaced one, maybe two players,
Yeah.
and they didn't have Benijah Laney, who's out for the season. So
True.
you got to factor that in too. Like, not just looking at the Aces, but the Liberty too. Like, they scored 92 points. Like you said, you got to be able to get stops. I
Yeah.
think it starts on the defensive end. That, like I said, defense translating to offense. If they're able to get stops, if they're able to run in transition a little bit, that opens things up. Like you said, Jewel Lloyd's a high level scorer. We know her abilities to score,
Yeah.
but if she's just standing around looking, not running no plays for her, or if she's just missing shots, try to get her some easy buckets, get her some layups, get her going towards the basket, get her going to the free throw line. That always helps build confidence.
Yeah.
Not just for her, but for Jackie Young, for Chelsea Gray as well. Get them to the free throw line, get them
Yeah.
some layups, give them some easy looks, so that when you do need buckets from the perimeter, you're able to get it. They got some confidence going, but like I said, it starts on the defensive end.
That's facts. You're right, brother. And I know, I'm not gonna freak out because that was game one, and they came back game two against the Connecticut Sun and smacked them 87-62. And Jewel did have a better night. She wound up scoring 20, but Asia still leading the team 22-10. But I mean, that's just gonna be Asia. I mean, it's kind of like Caitlin going back to that matchup with Chicago. She wound up having a triple double game one. Then came back game two, had a double double. So I mean, I think you obviously is gonna have stars. It's gonna be stars. So I mean,
Mhm.
but I think as long as I feel like you got some supporting casts that are closer to where you are, it helps you get the win. Like I said, Jewel having 20, a lot more than having 5 that game before. If you'd had 20 first game, it's 15 points. That helps you get closer to the overall score. So I think my thing is, bro, continue to have a nucleus of players that everyone can be similar. you're obviously gonna have that one person, Asia, obviously gonna be that star. If you can have people that are more, having more of assistance and collaborative endeavors, that's all I need. That's all I need from you. So as we push on, man, I know you want to talk about this too. The Seattle Storm. Let's go back and play the Phoenix Mercury in their first game. They wound up losing that game 59-81. Satu Sabli, the newest addition in Phoenix, had came out hot, 27.6 boards. In addition to AT, who continues her fashion of dominant basketball with 20.7 boards, 6 assists, triple double alerts. And then we had Seattle, Scott Digg, 21-3. Then you had NECA, who only had 12-7. Erica Wheeler has 6-2. Zaya Cook 6-1. Gabby Williams 4. And then you had the number 2 overall pick. I know you get ready to discuss, Miss Malonga, who only had 2 points. So now, and we'll skip forward because they did play another game Monday against the Dallas Wings, and they won that game 79-71. Talk to me about how you felt between their first and their second game, with them losing that first game and then coming back and winning that second game, both on the road. So what do you think the difference was, and how do you feel about their season going forward based on what you're currently seeing? And then anything else you want to touch on with that?
Yeah, that first game against the Mercury, they just couldn't score. 59 points, you're not going to win a game. It's not college. It's not mid-major college basketball where you could score 59 points and win a game. That's just not going to win a game at any professional level, scoring 59 points.
Yeah.
So they got to figure out offensively how to get going. They kind of figured it out in the second game against Dallas, more of a balanced attack. We saw NECA have a big double-double, 23 and 18 in that second game. Gabby Williams was big on both ends of the floor, and Skylar doing Skylar things. Those three are going to have to put the team on their back, carry the team, and get them to wherever they want to go, whether that's the playoffs or trying to win a championship. Against Phoenix, no Ka. AT's a dog down low. We know what she's doing. Sabali had a big game. So, but after that, like we talked about last week, after that, it's not really much on that roster. And you only scored 59 points against them without Ka?
Okay.
Like that's concerning. And then you turn around, you play Dallas 79-71. Like I said, they got more of a better performance from Gabby Williams, NECA Gumuke, and they kept Arike in check. Arike only had 8 points, 2 for 14 shooting. Like I said, she got benched pretty much in the second half of that game. Paige had a good game, but other than that, nobody really went off and went crazy for the Wings. And that's how it's going to be for the Storm. They have to get it done defensively, and they have to get carried by Williams, Skylar, and NECA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's facts, man. I know you wanted to touch on this too, man, but I'm like, you went ahead and drafted Malonga, number 2 overall, right? And in my mind, like you mentioned earlier to me, man, they had some bigs on the roster. So it's like, one, was that a wasted pick? And 2, if it wasn't a wasted pick, how long are you gonna let this young lady sit? Like, is it a developmental thing? Like, because in my mind, as a number 2 overall pick, you're hooping. I know it's a W, but like as a 2 pick, you need to be hooping. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so talk to me. Maybe you're seeing something I'm not seeing. I feel like even when that young lady was in the game, Miss Malonga, she got into the game. That first game, like I said, she only had 2 points, right? She came in that second game, and I'm pulling up her stats now.
She played right before the half. She played the last minute of halftime, or right before halftime. She got in for that 1 minute.
And once again,
2 points, a rebound, and a turnover.
Yep. So it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead.
And I don't think it's a knock on her necessarily. I look at it more of a problem with Seattle as an organization. Like you said, you got Ezzy at center, starting center. The last 2 seasons, she's been hooping, playing at a high level. You bring in Lee from the Sparks. When she was on the Sparks, when she got the minutes, when she played, she was producing.
Yeah.
And now you draft Malonga number 2. Like you said, you take somebody with number 2 pick, you're expecting them to play.
Exactly.
Whether she's starting or not, you're expecting her to play.
More
She
than a
played
minute,
10
bro.
minutes in pretty much garbage time. That game was over.
Yeah,
That's probably why she got 10 minutes.
that's true.
She played
That's
1
true.
minute before halftime. So my thing with Seattle is, yo, you could have had Citron.
Yeah, that's true.
You were looking at drafting Olivia Miles. Olivia Miles decides to stay in college,
Yeah,
transfers to TCU. Okay, cool. That changed the draft board. But why not go get Citron? Teammate of Olivia Miles, similar style game, not necessarily a true point guard, but a guard that can play in the backcourt off the ball
yeah,
with Skylar. Swing Gabby to the 3. You still
yeah.
got NECA and you still got Ezzy down low.
Mm-hmm.
Move Alicia Clark to the bench because she's not doing nothing but getting cardio out there.
Cardio. Yeah,
And this is an older team, like we talked about. NECA 34, Skylar 34, Alicia Clark. She's like 37. She's up there
yeah.
getting cardio. Gabby
That's
Williams
true.
28, which is respectable,
Yeah.
somewhat young.
Yeah.
Still in her
Yeah.
prime, still
Man,
playing
hold
at a
on.
high level.
We 28, brother. Hold on. Well, I'm 27, but you 28. But
But
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
but,
yeah.
but my thing is like your championship window is starting to close, right? You're led by these veterans.
Yeah.
Even if Malonga is, a future star in this league, she's 19. It's gonna take some time.
Mm-hmm.
But also what we've seen in the W, rookies not making rosters. If they do make a roster, are you contributing? If you
Yep.
are contributing, cool. If not, you're probably out the league in 2 or 3 years.
That's what I'm
So that's
saying.
my biggest concern right now with Malonga is
Yeah.
that she's not playing, and if she's not playing, she's probably going to be out of the league, unfortunately.
That's true, brother. That's true. And that's what I'm like, what was the purpose in being drafted? Or, like you said, are they setting up for the future? Or is she gonna be a one of those pieces that can be used in a supplemental draft when Toronto gets on that board next year for that supplemental that they got to do? Because they could do that to her. But once again, if that's the case,
If
what's
you're
the point of drafting
Seattle,
her?
why'd you draft her?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But
you're expecting somebody to come in at that high and
yep,
contribute
immediately,
something to the team.
immediately, bro. A lot of
She
teams need to
played
do it.
1 minute before halftime.
Yeah,
Didn't see the court in the second half.
not at all, brother. Not at all. It's very interesting. It is very interesting. I love to see how GMs think. And I was getting a lot of flack in the draft by these teams drafting these young women from out these different countries. We got all this homegrown talent in the US of A. But as we see, Herbie J was right. Wasn't I? Wasn't I? Valkyrie didn't even keep their pick. That girl's from, I don't know where she was from. First of all, hold on. That girl said she wasn't coming over here to hoop this year.
Yeah,
Forget not playing.
bro.
Yeah,
Overseas.
I'm good. So it's like, was I wrong? No, I wasn't. Thank you very much. Let's move on to this, man. Last night we had another big matchup. Well, not really big matchup, but we had a matchup between the Fever and the Dream, man. And I personally thought that the Fever was gonna come and handle business against the Dream. They wound up losing that game very close. The last second, we all watched that 91-90 heartbreaker with Caitlin with another double last evening. They almost brought back the comeback, 27-5-11. AB, big night for her with 24-10. Miss Mitchell at 24. That team is a great nucleus with those three. And then BG had a big night, 21-8. Ryan Howard had 20-2, and then Miss Jones had 19-13 with Alicia Gray with 16-2-6. Hundo, man, as we look back on that matchup, me you had to have a dialogue about that matchup all day. Talk to me first of all. Are the Dream who you think they could be, and are the Fever going to let another year go by where they have all these close games and not show who I think they should be with the amount of talent that they've signed this offseason? and the talent they have already on the roster? Give me your future
Uh,
prediction.
I'll start with the Fever. I think similar to Vegas, they still have to figure out how to play with one another.
Okay.
Um, the good part is you have a guard in Caitlin Clark who can get others involved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kelsey Mitchell is going to do what Kelsey Mitchell does, get buckets.
Yep.
AB, like you said, had a big game. She got off to a slow start last year. The fans were on her head. She got off social media this year, starting off kind of faster. And maybe that's another year under her belt playing with CC,
Yep.
knowing her style, knowing her pace of play, knowing the slots to be in. But Dewana Bonner, 16 minutes, no points. Natasha Howard, 6 and 9. Need more. Need
Yep.
more. Um, they were missing Sophie Cunningham, who can help off the bench. They didn't really get much bench production. So those starters, similar to Atlanta, are going to be taxed with a heavy load of scoring. And when one of them only plays 16 minutes and has 0 points, Dewana Bonner scoring 0 points. Come on,
Yeah,
dog.
DB. You third all time in scoring. You got to lock
She
in.
she a bucket. She a
Indeed.
bucket. So
Indeed.
if she gives them 6 points, they win that game.
That's
She
true.
gives them 2 points, they win that game. Yeah,
That's
when
true.
when,
You give
when you
me
look at it like
anything.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but for Atlanta, like I said, they're missing Jordan Canada. I think when they get her back, they'll be fine. Um, but because they don't necessarily have a true point guard right now.
Yep.
Pow can handle the ball, but she's not a true point guard. Ryan is more of a scoring guard. Alicia Gray has been getting buckets, not
Yep.
necessarily known for her facilitate. Yeah, she had 6 assists, but not really a true point guard.
Yep.
Um, and like I mentioned earlier with them, Bree Jones, Brittany Griner, got to play through them. You got a lot of size down low. They were just more physical than the Fever down low. Um, BG getting tangled up with AB. AB still had a great game. Didn't let it
Yep.
necessarily get to her.
That's true.
Bree Jones also physical down low. So if you're playing against Atlanta, be ready for the physicality. You got
Yep.
to be ready to match it. Ron was very physical with Caitlin Clark on the perimeter. Caitlin was still getting hers, but you saw it.
Yep.
Um, so for Atlanta, I think they're still, a bubble team. I don't expect them to go out there and win a championship or anything. But I do expect them to make the playoffs, and I expect them to compete and be in games just like this all season.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, bro. I think that the Fever, man, they got to show me a little bit more. I think Caitlin's been hooping, obviously, triple double first game, like I said, double double this game. AB, once again, I'm coming to the front of the classroom. Hey, I had you misunderstood, young woman. Don't get me wrong. I saw you at South Carolina. When you got to W, I was a little concerned. But hey, you've been showing out, doing your thing. So keep hooping. K Mitch, K Mitch has been hooping as well. And like I said, you got the additions. You got DB. We got Sophie. We got Lexi. So I mean, and they got the team. I mean, they got the team to lock in. They just gotta do it. So they got Sid. My bad. Sid coming off the bench. I mean, she only got 5 minutes, but I mean, hey, keep doing your thing, man. I see big things, like I mentioned in my original power rankings. I see big things for the Fever this season, and I think they can be pushed to the playoffs and actually make some noise in the playoffs this year, not just get there. Um, so
And and one thing that I'm interested to see with the Fever and a couple of the other teams as well, but like when they do get healthy, how do the lineups look?
yeah,
Because we
that's
saw
true.
with the Fever in one of the preseason games, DeWanna Bonner was coming off the bench.
Yeah,
So do they slide Sophie Cunningham to add that additional shooting to not have that pressure of trying to get DB the ball, working with that first unit and
mm-hmm.
allowing DB to come off the bench and light it up, having that extra punch off the bench because you know what DB can do.
That's right.
Um, so I'm interested to see how some of these lineups are going to shake up throughout
Yeah,
the season. So definitely keep that in mind and be on the lookout for that as well.
that's facts. Man, that leads us right into tonight, man. We got some matchups coming up. We actually have a matchup going on right now. Dallas and Minnesota, and that one's going as expected, 29-37 in favor of the Lynx. 10 o'clock, we got two matchups. Hey, real quick, before we go into that. Hey, W, well, y'all got these different matchups in one night, bro. Stop having them games come out at the same time. Stop that, bro. I'm trying to watch. as a fan who really is trying to lock in with the W this season, is very hard when I got two matches I really want to see at the same exact time. Like start one 30 minutes earlier, an hour earlier, something. Like help me
That
as a
that
fan
league
of the W.
that league pass got that multi view, man. You better hit
Oh,
that
do?
multi view on that league pass, man. Pull it up on
Oh,
the laptop, man.
okay.
That
Well,
league
see,
pass got that multi view.
I need to pull up my laptop. I'll be watching it on my iPad most times. I don't think I had most
Mm-hmm.
view on the iPad. So, hmm, I
Yeah,
might
pull
need
it
to
up
do
on the
that.
laptop, man.
Might need to do that. Might need to do that. Okay. Okay. Still, W. Still.
I get
Still.
your point though.
It's hard. It's hard trying to multitask in like two
Yeah,
different games. I'm trying to lock in with both. You know
and
what I'm
and
saying?
don't let another sport be on either.
Bruh. And don't let nothing else be on. Because y'all know the NBA playoffs are going on right now. So like, bro, like it's a whole doggone Eastern Conference Finals going on tonight. Like,
Yeah,
what y'all think happening? Like, anyways, man. I know, man. Right now, like I said, the Wings are down 7 to the Lynx. Do you think that the next matchup, Washington and Golden State, do you think that Washington continues their reign of terror on the league and goes 3-0 and defies my odds? And then the next matchup, who you think wins that with the Sparks and Phoenix going at 10 o'clock as well?
yeah. I think Washington should be able to beat the Valkyries. Like I said, with the Fever, I'm interested to see how the Valkyries lineups are going to look.
Mm-hmm.
Van Loo came off the bench, but she's capable of starting at the point guard position, especially if Veronica Burton isn't giving you much anything.
Yeah.
Um, Tip Hayes has the ability to score when she's on the floor. Kate Martin can knock down shots as well. Timmy had a good game as well for them in the first game of their season as well. So
Yeah.
that should be close. But like I said, I got the Mystics winning. Shakira Austin actually came back the other day. Hopefully, she can give them something.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see. But I like the Mystics in that game. And then the second game, I don't know, man. Like I said, Mercury without Ka. Can Sabali have another big game? Is AT gonna have another big game? Like you said, after that, who else is gonna get it done? So I think
Yeah.
if Sabali's struggling, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sparks win it, man.
That's true.
KP, Mama D, Azura Stevens. If Rakia's back playing, Rakia, Odyssey Sims, a veteran at the point guard position. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the Sparks in that game. I'm gonna take the Sparks in that game to
Okay.
get the win.
Okay. Yeah, I got the Mercury winning that game for me. I don't the Sparks. I got to show me some more. Man, I got to be consistent with it for me. So I'm gonna take Satu and AT to lock in tonight and go ahead and handle business at the crib. And then I got the Mystics, man. Go ahead and get that third win of the season, bro. So let's do this while we got these last few minutes here to pod. Are there any more intriguing matchups and going into the rest of this weekend that you see? And then I'm gonna go ahead and give you the Mystics next couple games. You tell me when their loss is gonna come. So obviously we got tonight with the Valkyrie. Then we got they play Vegas on Friday in Vegas. Then the next game would be Sunday in Arizona, playing Phoenix. Do you think that they have a L coming up soon? And how many L's do you see coming up in by the end of this weekend? Because they got 3 games by Sunday.
They'll probably lose to the Aces. They should lose to the Aces.
Indeed, I
Um,
agree. Agreed.
like I said, that Phoenix game, man, I'm not too sold on Phoenix right now.
Okay.
I'm not too big of a believer, as you know, in Sabali.
Yeah.
She had a good first game, but I got to see it consistently from her, especially with Ka being out.
Yeah. That's
So
true too.
that game should be a good game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Mystics win that game. Um,
That'd be interesting to me. I tell you that.
will it? Bro, they're not bad, bro.
Beating Phoenix
Kiki,
in Phoenix, bro.
bro, Kiki's been hooping, bro.
Kiki been
Brittany
hooping.
Sykes is
I
the
ain't gonna lie.
veteran who's been
Kiki
hooping.
been hooping. Hey Kiki, shout out to you, man. Shout out
Yeah.
to Kiki helping my fantasy team. You've been locked in, girl. I appreciate you. Keep getting them double doubles. I love it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. At the end of your college career at USC, I was like, what happened? Where'd you go? But hey, you brought it back. You made a believer out of me quickly. And that's what I like to see. That's what I'm talking about. Popcorn generation. Quickly make a believer out of me. I love it. I love it. And my fantasy team loves it too. Are there any more intriguing matchups you see coming up throughout the rest of this weekend, Hundo? I was looking and I was like,
But you
Saturday
got
with that Liberty and Fever game, I'm gonna be tapped into that one at 1.
yeah, and
And
then you also
then
got the Aces in the Storm. Jewel
that's
Lloyd
true.
playing against her old team on
That's
Sunday.
true. That's true
Um,
too.
so in Seattle, so
In Seattle.
that'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Back
We
to the
know
place
that
of
wasn't
bullying.
the best exit for Jewel Lloyd. What'd you say?
I said back to the place of bullying.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Where she claimed she was bullied. So
He said
we'll
allegedly.
we'll, we'll, we'll see. We'll see. I'm interested to see that game. And like you said, Liberty and Fever, of course.
Yeah.
Never can never can go wrong with that one. And
Yeah.
then Wings and Dreams should be a good game too. I mean, you got Enrique and you got Ryan, two of the top scorers,
Yeah.
most skilled scorers in the league. So not mad
And
at that match.
that fever dream game should be good tomorrow too. Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't see
A
that
run
part.
back, a
Yeah.
repeat. Yeah,
You think
Liberty
Chicago
and
has any
Sky.
wins coming up soon?
It's some good, huh?
Go ahead, finish what you about to say. My bad.
I was about to say it's just some good matchups, bro. Like even the Liberty and Sky, like look at the storylines in itself. Like you got Angel Reese versus Brianna Stewart.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be big. Camilla
Yeah.
down low as well. So we're
You
gonna
think they got
see
a chance to win that game?
the Sky.
Yeah.
If Natasha Cloud playing how she playing, if Sabrina gives them something more than that, no,
Yeah.
I don't see I don't see the Sky beating them.
So it's 0-2. Sunday, you see them beating the Sparks in LA?
It could. That'll be a good game too.
Yeah.
Got to
I'm
see what the guard play is going to look like for Chicago.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
it's down low, but is
Yeah.
Atkins going to give them something? What's Sloop going to give them?
Yeah.
HVL coming off the bench, so that's going to be interesting for the Sky throughout the season. Is just what does that guard production look like? Because you trade for Ariel Atkins, you expect her to be hooping at a very high level. They traded the number 3 pick
Mm-hmm.
For her, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's facts, brother. I tell you what, like we said at the beginning of this podcast, there's a lot of exciting W basketball happening. Um, if you have not done so, please purchase the League Pass. This is the last week of free League Pass on the WNBA app. So if you have not purchased the League Pass, if you do not have the WNBA app downloaded on one of your devices, please, first of all, do that. Secondly, if you plan on supporting the W, go ahead and get that League Pass. It's only $35 for the entire year. All 44 games plus playoffs will be on the League Pass. So you have the opportunity to watch that as well. Outside of the games, obviously, it will be televised on ESPN and or Amazon. Yeah. We appreciate y'all here at the Winning Shot Podcast, man. Tapping in with our W content, with our NBA content. We're in the midst of some great hoops right now as we get in the middle of the conference finals for the NBA, and we're at the beginning of this W season. So it's a lot of good hoops happening, man. And we're going to continue to talk about it. We're going to be back next week to kind of give you updated coverage on what happened in this past week. If y'all want us to talk about anything in particular with W or any particular storylines, any particular players, any particular stats or records that we need to be on the lookout for, please let us know, man. We want to talk about all of it. We want to highlight whoever needs to be highlighted, and we just want to continue to see good hoops. If you have any conversations, like I said, y'all want us to have around W or around Unrivaled or around just anything basketball, women's and or men's, we'll talk about some of that too on here too. Just some of the crossover, the intersectionality, as they say. It's a big word for Elmo. Yeah, y'all continue to stay locked in with us. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, family, have conversations. We want to continue to. Oh, we got to talk about too next time that court that Atlanta put out. Was it Pace for Respect? What did they say? Pace for Respect to women's sports, something to that effect that they made with their partnership on that court. Yeah. Let's tap it up, man. Let's tap it up. Let's tap in. God bless y'all. We appreciate y'all tapping into the Win Shot Podcast. Me and Hundo. We'll see y'all at the next appointed time. And we out. Peace.